Hello, it's Ruth again. Last time we tried to introduce you to computers, programs, and Python, and today we're going to talk about lecture 2, which is elementary program. Topics we're going to cover are writing a simple program, reading input from the console, identifiers, variables, assignment statements and expressions, simultaneous assignments, named constants, numeric data types and operations, evaluating expressions and operator precedence, argumented assignment operators, and lastly, type conversion and rounding. Let's start by writing a simple program. Writing a program involves designing algorithms and translating them into programming instruction or codes. Writing a program needs a translation of an algorithm into codes. Algorithms describe how a problem is solved by listening the action that needs to be taken in the order of execution. Algorithms help a programmer to plan a program before writing it in a programming language. Algorithms can be described in natural language or a pseudocode, which is a natural language mixed with some programming code. For example, let's consider a simple program by computing the area of a circle. The algorithm is written as: first, get the circle's radius from the user. Second, compute the area applying the following formula, which is area is equal to radius times pi. And at last, display the result. This is the algorithm for an area of a circle. In this problem, the programmer needs to read the radius, which the user enters from the keyboard or using the keyboard, and stores the entered data. In order to access the stored data which the user entered, the programmer needs to use a variable. So the user is going to enter the radius of the circle, so we're going to name the variable radius. To accept the data from the user or read input from the console, you need to use the input function. The following statement prompts the user to enter a value. Just 1 minute. Then the value entered is a string, which means it's an input. So, and an input functions accept a string. So whatever value the user gives, it's going to be a string, but we want an integer, so we're going to convert it using the eval function. We're going to add eval in front of input. Then write the formula. Okay, then we're going to display it, so we're going to use the print statement or the print function. Let's save it. Save and run it. Let's enter 9. So the area of a circle with the radius of 9 units is 254.5 units square. And here we can see how a program can read an input from the user, do a simple arithmetic operation, and then display the result. And now I know how algorithms are changed into a code. Next, let's talk about identifiers. Identifiers are the names that identify the elements such as variable, functions, or functions in a program. As you can see, radius, area, eval, input, and print are the names of things that appear in the program. In programming terminology, such names are called identifiers because they identify the functions or the values which we are going to use in our program. All identifiers must obey this rule. The first one is identifiers are a sequence of characters that consist letters, digits, or underscore. An identifier must start with a letter or an underscore. It can't start with a digit. That's a rule. It's a convention rule. In Python, identifier must start like identifiers have to start with underscore ካልሆነ ደግሞ letter else አይሆንም identifier መባል አይችልም። And identifiers cannot be a keyword. Keywords like if or else, not in, እነሱ ነገሮች በአጠቃላይ እንትኖች ላይ ፕሮግራሚንግ ላይ ስለምንጠቀማቸው like ኦፊሻል የፕሮግራሚንግ ወርዶች ስለሆኑ ወይም ኪወርዶች ስለሆኑ ፓይተን አያስጠቅምንም። like as identifier መጠቀም አንችልም። ኤረር ነው የሚሆንብን። ኪወርዶችን ልክ እንደ አይደንቲፋየር መጠቀም ብንፈልግ ኤረር ነው የሚሆን አይቻልም። and identifiers can be any length ያው ማንኛውም ርዝመት ያለው ነገር መሆን ይችላል። ከሩል እስካልወጣ ድረስ የትኛውም ርዝመት የሚያክል መሆን ይችላል። ሰው ማስተዋወቅ እስከቻለና እንትን እስካለ ድረስ ከሩል እስካልወጣ ድረስ። When a Python detects an illegal identifier, it reports as a syntax error and terminates the program. Next, we'll talk about variables, assignment statements, and expressions. Variables are used to refer value that may be changed in the program. As you can see from the programs in the preceding section, variables are the names that refers to a value stored in a memory. Variables are names which we use to refer or as a reference to value that are stored in a memory. ለሬፈረንስ ነው የምንጠቀመው። ዳይሬክትሊ ሜሞሪ ውስጥ የትኛው ቦታ እንደተቀመጠ ስለማናውቅ መጀመሪያ ፈርስት ያንን የምንፈልገውን ነገር ወደ ቫሪያብል አሳይን ካደረግን በኋላ ነው በቫሪያብሉ አማካኝነት መስራት የምንችለው እንጂ ዳይሬክትሊ ብንከተው ኦር ሰምቲንግ ማግኘት አንችልም ከሜሞሪ ምክንያቱም ስም አልሰጠንም ሶ ዊ ካንት አክሰስ ኢት። They are called variables because they may refer to a different value. Variables, they are called variables, of course. They differ. በአንድ ፕሮግራም ውስጥ አንድ ቫሪያብል በጣም ብዙ ቫልዩዎችን ሬፈር ላደርግ ይችላል ስለሚቀያየር። The statement for assigning a value to a variable is called assignment statement. In Python, the equal sign is used as an assignment operator. An expression represents a computation involving values, variables, and operators that are taken together. To assign a value to a variable, you must place the variable's name to the left of the assignment operator. Our assignment operator is equal sign. Now, band statement ወይም assignment statement ላይ በግራ በኩል ነው መቀመጥ ያለበት variable. If we're going to assign to something. So, የሆነ ነገር አሳይን የምናደርገው ከሆነ ቫሪያብሉ ከኢኳል ሳይኑ ሌፍት በስተግራ ነው መቀመጥ ያለበት ወይም የተቀመጠው ነገር እንደ ቫሪያብል የሚቆጠረው። Every variable has a scope or in other languages a data type. The scope of a variable is a part of a program where the variable can be referred. Next, simultaneous assignments. Python also supports simultaneous assessments. It tells Python to evaluate all the expression on the right and assign them to corresponding variables on the left simultaneously. Swapping the variable value is a common operating in programming and simultaneous assignment. It's very useful to perform this operation. Let's go to our Python IDE. So this is the result what we want, and Okay, let's go back to our code. Another way of doing this is the example of simultaneous assessments, which we're using two assignments here. We're using two assignments. Simultaneous assignments can have two or more assignments, and this is one of the examples. Next, let's talk about named constants. A named constant is an identifier that represents a permanent value. Named constants, or simply constants, represent permanent data that never changes. For example, in our area problem, pi is a constant, and yeah, so Python does not have a special syntax for naming constants. Just we're gonna name it as normal variable. In order to differentiate them from a variable, mostly they use uppercase to name the named constants. Benefits of named constants are there's no need to repeatedly type the same value. If you're using constants or in a program repeatedly, if we proclaimed it once as a constant, there's no need to type it. You just need to write the name of the constant, and that's it. Uh, uh, you can have only need to change it only at one time. And for constants, uh, if you want to change the value, it's only needed to change it only in a single location for one line. እንደ ኮንስታንት ዲክላር ተደርጎ ከተጻፈ መጀመሪያ ላይ ጀስት የዛው የተጻፈበት ቦታ ላይ መጀመሪያ ኮንስታንት ነው ተብሎ ዲክላር የተደረገበት ቦታ ላይ ሄዶ ቫልዩን ማስተካከል ብቻ ነው የሚጠበቅብን። ሌላ ፕሮግራም ውስጥ በተጠቀምናቸው ቦታዎች በአጠቃላይ እየሄድን እንደ ሌላ ቫሪያብል ማስተካከል አይጠበቅብንም። if it's a constant አንዴ ብቻ ነው ማስተካከል የሚጠበቅብን። and of course በዚህ ምክንያት it makes the programming easy to read, of course. Next, let's talk about numeric data type and operations. Numeric data type operations. Python has two numeric types, integer and float. ሁለት ተከታታይ አለው or ሁለት numeric type አለው። numeric ማለት ያው ቁጥር numeric type አለው ሁለት ናቸው። integers and floating points ይባላሉ። Numbers for integers are or integer types or int for short are for representing whole numbers. Real types are for representing numbers with a fractional part and they are represented as a floating point or float values. ሁለቱ ኑሜሪክ ዳታ ታይፖች አንደኛው ኢንቲጀር ይባላል or int ባጭሩ፣ ሌላኛው ደግሞ floating point or float ባጭሩ ወይም አይደንቲፋየር ኔሙ ፍሎት ነው የሚባለው። የዛኛው ደግሞ ኢንት ነው የሚባለው። ኢንቲጀር ሪፕሬዘንትስ ሆል ነምበርስ፣ በአጠቃላይ ሆል ነምበርሶችን ኢንቲጀር ሪፕሬዘንት ያደርጋል። then ፍሎት ደግሞ ፍራክሽን ፖይንቶችን or ዴሲማል ፖይንቶችን ኮንሲስት የሚያደርግ ነበር በፍሎት ነው የሚገለጸው። To make it simple, a number with a decimal point is a float, and a number without a decimal point is int or integer. The operators for numeric data types include the standard arithmetic operators, the plus sign, minus, and multiplication sign. Operators are straightforward, of course. We use them for binary equations, for adding or subtraction or multiplication. We use the plus, minus, and multiplication sign. Out of that, plus and minus are used to tell either the number is positive or negative in unary operations. If there is only one number in the expression, then they are used to indicate that the sign of the number either is it negative or positive. The division sign performs a float division that results a floating number. The integer division or double division sign, double slash backslash, I think, yeah, the double backslash sign operator performs an integer division. The result is an integer. Any fractional part is truncated, or any fractional part ከዲቪዥን በኋላ የሚመጣው ይቆረጣል። 4.2 ከነበረ 4 ይሆናል፣ 5.6 ከነበረ 5 ይሆናል መልሱ ማለት ነው። If the division is an integer division. The remainder operator, known as the remainder or modulo operator, yields the remainder after division. ይሄ ደግሞ ምንድነው አውትፑቱ? The remainder, number A, then percentile, then number B is equal to the remainder of A divided by B. Let's do a simple program to see the different results of operations discussed above. Let's do a simple program to see the different results of operations discussed above. Now let's take input from the user. Let's run it. Okay. Here you can see the difference in normal division and integer division, how the remainder works. And this is the result of these operations on these numbers. Next, it's evaluating expressions and operator precedence. Python expressions are evaluated in the same way as arithmetic expressions, meaning it takes the normal mathematical or arithmetic expression rules ይጠቀማል ማለት ነው። Writing a numeric expression in Python involves a straightforward translation into arithmetic expression. Although Python has its own way to evaluate expression behind the scene, of course, then the result of a Python this expression and its corresponding arithmetic expression are the same. Therefore, you can safely apply the arithmetic rules for evaluating expression. When more than one operator is used in an expression, the following rule is applied. First, if there is an exponent, then it's applied first. Then multiplication, float division, integer division, and remainder operators are the next ones will be applied if they are there. And at last, addition and subtraction operators are applied. Note if the expression contains several equal level operators, like if there is multiplication and float division at the same expression, or if there is an addition and subtraction at the same expression, then they are applied from the left to right. Meaning, if the multiplication is to the left of the float division, then first the numbers are multiplied, then they are divided. That's how it works in Python. Next, let's take a look at augmented assignment operations. The operators seen above mean the multiplication operators, the addition operators, the division, integer division, remainder, power. All of them can be combined with the assignment operator, which is the equal sign, to form augmented assignment operation. Very often, the augmented operators are used to modify the current value of a variable and reassign it to a variable. ብዙ ጊዜ augmented operationዎችን የምንጠቀመው if there is a variable and variable ካለ and ያ variable it has a value, whatever value ብቻ if you want to change it with some number or with some value እና ከዛ በኋላ ደግሞ ሪአሳይን ወደዛው ቫሉ ሪአሳይን ሞዲፋይ ለማድረግ ባጭሩ ከፈለግን አርጊመንትድ አሳይንመንት ነው ብዙ ጊዜ የምንጠቀመው in coding. For example, let's see the addition assignment. እዚህ ጋር example ስናይ I plus equal 8 it's equivalent to I is equal to I plus 8 ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ እዚህ ጋር additional assignment ላይ አይን በ8 ጨመር ነው ማለት ነው። exponential assignment ስናየው ደግሞ I the power sign is equal to 8 ይላል። In Python, this is interpreted as I is equal to I power of 8, meaning the current I is reassigned to the value while the previous I power of 8 የሱ ቫልዩ የፕሪቪየስ I power of 8ን reassign ይደረጋል ወይም ድጋሚ ያንን ቫልዩ የሱን ቫልዩ ድጋሚ ለአይን አሳይን እናደርጋለን ማለት ነው። in assignment operator ላይ and caution እዚህ ላይ ያለ ነገር አለ. There is no space between the augmented assignment operators, meaning the plus እና b equal sign ላይ ምንም አይነት space የለም. If there is a space, it's going to be an error. Next, let's talk about type conversion in random. If an integer and a float are involved in a binary operation, Python automatically converts the integer into float value. This is called the type conversion. And to see what the type conversion looks like, let's write some code. Let's see type conversion. Here the value is converted to 4, which is an integer, and we had a conversion from a float to an integer value. It's not like rounding. To see rounding, let's try to put it again. Here you can see the difference between type conversion and rounding. In the type conversion, the answer was 4, but in the rounding, the answer is 5 because the answer became 5 because both of them have their own rules to perform their function. Also, the int function can also be used to convert a string to an integer. Let's say that. Here, the string 0074 is converted to an int, which is the type conversion, where the int function can perform. Okay, this is for today. Next time we will see mathematical functions, strings, objects, and selections. Till then, try the questions in the exercise and stay safe. Thank you.